Hey everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and it is Wednesday. It is time for the Star Trek Comic Collective, and we got a fun one today, a really fun one actually, and it falls in line too with the kind of the reading project that I'd been on, where I would read a book from TOS, TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Picard, Strange New Worlds. What did I miss? But anyway, there are no books for Lower Decks, but we do have graphic novels and comic books, and boy, Lower Decks does transfer very well to that form, right? So, what do we have here? We have Shaxs' Best and Worst Day. This is, of course, by Ryan North, and this is a kind of like a two different stories put together, and it's very interesting too because it kind of comes where like you can go and you can read the actual stories where these come from. Anyway, let's kind of get in there and I can explain a little bit further. So, Shaxs' Best and Worst Day. And I love the art in this. It's just like Lower Decks transferred to the page, right? So this is written by Ryan North. Your artist here is Derek Charm. Letterer Clayton Cowles. Let's read Shaxs' personal log. Personal log. Fascists are among us. The zealot Kalis II has begun a deadly siege on the Klingon planet of Kronos, with plans to spread his holier-than-thou ideology across the galaxy. After a distress call came from Captain Worf of the USS Defiant, I, alongside with the Theseus crew, have met them in a desperate attempt to put a stop to the madman and his Red Path goons. Whether we're outmatched or not is irrelevant. By the prophets, I will take them down. First off, I am a huge fan of Shaxs, right? Such a fun character. I don't know. It was just interesting for me to see like this very excitable, security officer always wanting to eject the warp core. I mean, just Lower Decks had so much. It had so much fun and so much goofiness, but then it just had so much heart too, right? He was just fantastic. So here is our closer look at Shaxs' Best and Worst Day. Some alternate covers here. And anyway, like I was saying, this is a story I believe from the ongoing Star Trek series, right? And so this is something that happened where Kalis II came about, and he had this kind of this gang of followers called the Red Path, right? And then Shaxs and his group have been called in to assist, and this is Shaxs' best day. So now we're not going to read the whole thing because it's rather large, right? So we're going to do like a little bit of perusing basically as we go through here. And it's just like I said, it's a very fun little book. You get Shaxs just absolutely annihilating this kind of band of Klingons. And what I really like about these comics too is that they always put in these little funny notes at the bottom too to kind of add to the story there, right? Well, I particularly enjoyed this one right here. Look at this. What I don't. It's kind of like an anime kind of thing. It reminds me of, right, where like you go black and white just for like a second when like you get the big hit, boom. But anyway, I like that a lot. But as you can see, Shaxs is here to help out. He's rescuing the Defiant and having a lot of fun in the process, right? I like this frame here as well, too. Look at this. Bajoran! Today is a good day to die. Heard it before, champ. Oh no, his pipe was cut in half. Whatever will Shaxs do? Oh lord. Now he's got a bat'leth. I like here, this is the part down here at the bottom where he's like, if you have a good action movie theme to put on, this is the time to put it on. When you're reading through this part here, as Shaxs is duking it out with these Klingons here. And then, of course, you get your Klingon She's got the disruptor aimed on him here, blasting all the batleths. And of course, Shaxs is the first here to notice the shape of a batleth. A little bit like a boomerang. Look at this. This is a good face here, right? And it comes back to decapitate the poor Klingon there. So then he's able to sneak aboard and engage into some more battle here. And this is pretty good too, where he beams off the Klingon's arms, and then he beams off the other arm. And I think he makes a comment about him being disarmed at that point. So, well, then he picks up the arm and the sword, takes it into the next scene, throws the sword at this guy, and then throws the arm at this guy. And then, boom, proceeds to knock him on the floor, right? So then Shaxs steals the, I think the capacitor that they needed from there, and is able to escape just in time before he initiates the self-destruct, right? But then, oh no, this Klingon crashes right into him, and they get to have this wicked battle as they re-enter the atmosphere aboard their ships, right? Like, this is, and even the writer comments on this too. It's like, this is one of those things you can only do in a comic book, right? So they get to have this battle again as they're coming down, and just at the very end, Shaxs activates the emergency transporter and makes it safely, right? But this guy, not quite. But then the engineer, this is a guy that he threw the arm at earlier, comes back with a freaking Klingon mech suit, and Shaxs has got to go toe-to-toe with him there. So here, again, here's another thing that you didn't think you would ever get to see here. Like my mech's Mecha Batleth. A Mecha Batleth, right? So things aren't looking good till Shaxs lures him to the, what is that, the plasma manifolds? Oh, melts him up and knocks him out. And when he punches him, it really says Shaxs. Right? Pretty good. Oh, then here, look. So here's actually who was on the Defiant this time. You've got B'Elanna and Tom. So, you know, I have these comics. I have some of these comics. I've never actually read this series, and now kind of seeing this little bit from Shaxs' point of view is pretty interesting. So, in one last final just bit of awesomeness, he tells him, just give me one chance to ride out like this. And he starts leaving the atmosphere, riding the Defiant, until he starts running out of air and requests to be beamed in, right? So that's the end of Shaxs' best day. I love this alternate art, too. This one is particularly fantastic. Now, this next one is very different. So, according to this, Starfleet has been distorted into a machine of oppression, antithetical to, I'm not saying that right, to everything it once stood for. Friends who once fought for equity now revel in crushing anyone who dares to stand up to the God King lore. Once green and prospering planets are now desolate factories pumping out profit for his supplicants, and Shaxs has been made into the one thing he despises most in the universe, a fascist. But now it's up to Shaxs and Shaxs alone to take on the new twisted Starfleet and burn it to the ground. So this is interesting too. This comes from, I don't know, it might be from the Defiant. No, I think the previous book was probably from the Defiant series. So then this section here is coming out of the Star Trek series, where they have this whole kind of arc called the Lore War, right? And again, I've not read it. I just kind of know generally about it. But Lore remakes history, basically. And when Shaxs comes into contact with Kales's Batleth, check this out. He remembers. He's like, this is not the way things are supposed to be. And this is the start of Shaxs' worst day. I like that. I like this whole page. I like this page a lot. Very cool. But anyway, as you can see, Shaxs is here, and he let's see it. All right, yeah. So it looks like Shaxs is kind of working with this guy, right? And they're on Lore's team. Worf is one of the good guys here, so Shaxs is like, hey, I'm on your side now. We got to take this guy out, and he's given the mission to completely liberate a fascist Starfleet, all in a single day. Why, Mr. Worf? It would be my honor. So that's basically the plot of this comic, right? Oh, this is pretty cool too. Here, like you get fascist Rutherford and Tendi. Praise to Lore. Democracies are for huge losers, and I hate them a bunch. Oh, look here on the back of his pad. Lore equals #1 God. Or in the front, it's a picture of Lore. Oh, that's so good. These comics are very fun. All right, anyway. Shaxs gets up to the bridge and is initiating his plan to take over, right? And he's trying to do something here, and they're kind of onto him a little bit. Wait, what's he trying to do? First, he's trying to beam them all out into space. Wait, let me find it here. Yeah, Captain, someone's trying to beam us all out into space. Now someone's trying to beam all of our brains out of our bodies. Anyway, they find out it's Shaxs, but then he instigates his plan here. He reprogrammed the computer's fire suppression system. It uses force fields to deny fires oxygen, thereby choking them out. And basically he made a force field around everyone else's head. And then he made a force field around his body and proceeds to take over the ship that way. So now he is in command of the ship. And he's got all these other ships coming after him now. You've got the Titan, the Cerritos, the Sunshu, the Chomsky, the USS Loris Great, and the USS Loris Great B. That's fantastic. So anyway, Shaxs is in some trouble here. He's got all these ships on his butt. By the prophets, fire everything. But he's he's having some trouble, and he's not going to make it. He has to set a collision course for the Cerritos. He sets a collision course. This is the one with the Gorn captain here. The ship hits. Blink! I like this little spot too. Look at that. What does it say? Conk. It's a little tiny conk. Conk. And then crackoom. They do really good with like the effects, and I like that a lot in this too, right? But anyway, they think that they've got away just fine, right? But look at this. There's a friggin' Lurian there too. That's awesome. Is that right? Yes. I think it's a Lurian. But it turns out that Shaxs was able to, basically he used that ramming maneuver to put a tiny little hole in the shield, just tiny enough to beam himself through, so he could go in there and kill everyone, even fascist Boimler. Blah. So now he's taking over this ship here. And he is, taking things over. He's taking people out. He's doing some, what does he do here? Oh, I love this. Look. So Shaxs, as a security officer, he studies all these weird things that go on, right? So he's initiated static warp bubbles that will trap each of them in collapsing universes. A la Remember Me, right? And look at, it's even got like that same effect. And then everybody's gone. He's trapped them all in their own collapsing universes. So then he makes it to the bridge, or he's on his way, or he makes it to the bridge, and then he fakes, he does like holograms, right? He fakes a call to Starfleet so he can get in there. And he's got some plans to take out the whole fleet, right? So he gets to Starfleet, and look at this is fun too. A little cameo by fascist Captain Liam Shaw, right? And they blow him out of the water. But he's got a little bit of a trick in his hands here. So anyway, they blow him out. He's crashing down. Big crash landing here. Oh yeah, he activates the shield just at the right time so that he can skip across San Francisco Bay, jump out of the ship to charge, and is immediately killed. They're like, what was he thinking? This is what he was thinking. He's got a million other ships coming. Now you're probably thinking, how in the world did Shaxs do that? And where did this come from? Yes, here we go. Perfect. So, if you all remember, USS Voyager stardate that the whole starship got duplicated except for their antimatter. Big problem for Voyager, but it works very well for him. So he duplicated his ship over and over again, brought them all in, and now he's got a whole army of Shaxs to come in and destroy Starfleet. And if that's not enough, he's got species 8472 coming in for backup as well as. So here he is. He's going in. He's taking out all of Starfleet, right? Taking out Captain Shaw. He's taking out. Look. Wait, this is awesome too. Oh, he basically orders each of the enemy ships to drop their antimatter containment field, and it's beautiful. Shaxs is able to destroy them all, and then he initiates a warp core breach on all of his ships. And then he sent to some sort of place, right? I don't know. And with all of his different Shaxs here at the end. So it's a happy ending for Shaxs. And look, everybody gets to get in line to eject the warp core. You can spend some time looking at this picture too, because it is a lot of fun. There's a lot going on here, right? There's Moopsy, there's a Targ, there's a whole bunch going on. Here's a little bit of a look at the alternate art here. Oh, that one's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, I like that one a lot. Here's Shaxs kicking butt again. That's pretty cool too. I like that. Look at the lower monument in the background. That's awesome. Oh, and the best one for last. Look at that. That is cool. Alright, well that was fun. That was a brief look through Shaxs' best and worst day here. And again, if you like Lower Decks, pick up any of these Lower Decks comics by Ryan North. They look great. They look like they're pulled from the show, obviously. And like the writing is fantastic. It's just really fun. So anyway, thanks for hanging out and reading a comic book with me on this Wednesday. As always, my friends, live long and prosper. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.